we had 3 JSO SWAT team members who actually had been in our police training academy all day since about noon training. It had broken for dinner, and they were leaving the academy. They're headed south on Lem Turner Road when they see a truck pass another vehicle in front of them. As the truck passes that vehicle, he obviously intently rams another vehicle. They're kind of witnessing this as it's all going on. It's more than just one hit. It's actually kind of almost what we call a pit maneuver, or precision immobilization technique maneuver, where they're trying to spin the car or flip the car, but it's obviously intentional. The one vehicle that struck goes off the road into the woods. The truck who's striking that car flips and goes into the wood itself. 3 detectives stop their car, get out. The woman who was in the car that was struck immediately gets out and said, "That was my ex-husband, he's trying to kill me." They obviously now heightened what's going on. It's not a crash, it's an intentional act. Arm themselves, go check on the driver of the vehicle. The vehicle's on its side, it's on the driver's side. The driver's still buckled in the seat. They make contact with him. He's alive at that point in time. They give him instructions to comply. He is listening, he is engaging them in conversation, and he's compliant at that point in time. They're formulating a plan to get him out of the truck. Vehicle is crashed, it's on the side. Obviously can't carefully get him out. Coming up with the plan, one of the 3 detectives that are there has his issued rifle, and he is keeping cover, protecting the other 2 officers as they're formulating their plan to get him out. Again, this man is compliant. He's engaging them in conversation. He is probably a little bit stunned and some bleeding from the crash, but again, he is obeying their commands, listening to them, and engaging them in conversation. As they're working to now remove the windshield, they get a tool, we're going to remove the windshield, get him out of the truck from the front of the vehicle. The detective who's on the back sees what is within inches of reach from the man's head, a firearm. Gives him instructions at that point in time, again, don't touch the gun, follow my commands, keep your hands where they are, and he does. Some reason unknown, he moves his hands, makes that intentional move for the gun, and goes to grab the gun, protecting himself and the other 2 detectives that are there. The one officer discharges his rifle several times, strikes the man while he's still seated in the vehicle, but again grabbing towards the gun, strikes him, shoots him. He is announced dead at the scene. The detective is fine. There's no officers that were hurt in the incident. The officer will be placed on administrative leave as per our policy. We are identifying the officer at this point in time as Officer Jared Reston. He's a 10-year veteran with the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. Still working to identify who the male in the truck is. We have a pretty good idea if he is who we think he is. The couple were married for like 30 years, and they have a domestic violence injunction against him. She does against him, and they had issues in the past with domestic battery. He's been arrested for domestic violence against her at least once. I can answer a couple questions.
Were the officers in a marked vehicle, and did they have their uniforms on?
The officers were in an unmarked vehicle. They did have a SWAT team uniform on. It is identified as police with a embroidered badge on the shirt and on the sleeve as well.
How did they identify themselves to him?
By giving him instructions that we're police officers, comply, and he was fully aware who they were.
How long was that conversation going on?
Minutes, probably just less than 5 minutes.
But he was responsive to them?
He was responsive to their conversations. He was actually engaging them in conversations, and initially he was compliant. Gave him instructions to put his hands on his head. He did. It was just something changed with his desires, and he reached for that gun.
Did he say anything about going for the gun, or?
Never made any comments other than his willingness to comply at first.
My question is about the officers responding in almost a first responder way there. They're trying to remove him rather than waiting for JFRD or an ambulance. Was he just a threat because of the attack on the other driver, or because he might have been injured?
Well, a couple things went on kind of simultaneously there. When they saw the crash occurring, it was obvious to them that this wasn't just a sideswipe crash, that there were multiple strikes into her vehicle, so they knew automatically that something's going on. They stopped their car, check on obviously he may be injured or may be dead from the truck being flipped. Her initial statement that he's my ex-husband, he's trying to kill me, they're going to add that together with the fact that they're seeing him ram her car, drive her off the road. That raises their suspicion that obviously that something's more going on here. Another officer, actually our SWAT team has reserve officers that are full-time firemen, full-time paramedics that are SWAT medics. He showed up immediately thereafter and was there to provide medical assistance to them. So
So there were 4.
there were
Officers on
initially
scene?
3 in the truck, and then the 4th SWAT medic came up
In the
after the fact.
in the car and the truck, the car was just off the road and the truck was flipped over.
The
on
car
its
was off the road and the truck was flipped on its side.
And the female who was driving the car, she's unharmed.
She's unharmed. She's fine. Obviously, shaken up by what had gone on, and she's got a history with this man. If he is who you think he is.
As this officer, does he have a history of any kind of shootings or anything?
Yeah, this is actually his 4th officer involved shooting. Was arrested.
Does
In
that
10
happen
years.
when you're a SWAT officer? Are you more inclined to be involved in shootings?
It's potential, yes. I believe at least one of his other incidents is involved as a SWAT officer, and the other ones I'm not sure. Can't really say.
So
So
were
he
these
wasn't
officers?
in training to be a SWAT officer.
No, he was
already
a SWAT team
officer.
member, without a doubt. Tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock, I will have some follow-up information. We'll have him identified. Most likely by then, can tell you a little bit more about the history between the couples and maybe some more about the officers' incidents.
Were they considered off duty at the time?
No, they were on duty. They were on duty. They had been at the academy training, like I said. They had broken for dinner, and were heading to dinner.
And the reach for the gun, that was, you believe, intentional? It wasn't just shifting around or anything?
It had to be intentional because he was compliant with his hands on his head. He moves his hands from his head to reach for that gun. So, again, with instructions to not do it, he's in control. All he has to do is sit there. We'll work to get him out, and it was he who made that move.
Was he injured at that time? Did he appear to be injured?
There was a little bit of blood on his face, which may have come from the crash, but I'm not sure of the extent.
And this other SWAT officer, the SWAT medic, so there were a total of 4 officers at the time of the shooting?
At the time of the shooting, the 4th SWAT medic had come up at that point in time.
Do you know how many times he fired and where the man was hit?
I'll have more about that tomorrow at 11.
Can you spell the officer's name, please?
Reston, Reston. Jared is his first name.
He's been with JSO for
10 years.
What kind of rifle are we talking about?
I can have that information for y'all tomorrow.
He's been on the SWAT team how long?
I'm not sure. I'll get that for you tomorrow as well. But he's a 10-year veteran with us.
Okay. All right.
Any further questions?
Thank y'all very much.
Thanks very much, sir.